This is Matt. I'm the founder and CEO of Adaptive. I wanted to record a really quick video that should give you a high-level sense of what Adaptive does and how it can help your clients. Okay, so we are an accounting automation platform for construction. We think that the construction market is a giant opportunity for accounting firms, right? If you look at the US Census, companies be doing between 2.5 to 25 million of revenue. There are 97,000 of them doing 840 billion of revenue. And they tend to have a lot of challenges when it comes to the back office management, right? So this is a big opportunity for outsourced accounting, outsourced advisory, et cetera. We think it's a multi-billion-dollar revenue market to go after, okay? The challenge historically is that there's been not a lot of great technology or really no purpose-built technology to manage outsourced accounting. So you think about it, a lot of the job level information you need is built into these systems that are predominantly for the field, project management systems. And so to get the accounting right, you end up having to pull a lot of information out, reconcile QuickBooks, and then maybe put together a process outside of those two systems that includes maybe some manipulation in Excel, maybe pulling data from payroll, managing approvals via email, et cetera, right? So there's historically been a challenge. It's this great opportunity in construction accounting, but how do you actually scale a practice? So that's where Adaptive fits in. I'd say there's two main ways we are different. First, and very importantly, we work with your client's existing systems. So we are going to connect right into QuickBooks Online and desktop, bi-directional sync. And we also have built integrations with these project management systems. So we can pull budgets, purchase orders, change orders, things like that into the system. So you're not having to export data from those systems. It just happens automatically. And that's the budget data, not just the cost data that would sync into QuickBooks. And then the second piece is that we're an AI native system. We are really, really focused on using AI to the max and applying it to this specific problem in construction accounting where we're able to get massive gains in efficiency. So something like job costing, which historically requires a lot of back and forth between the outsourced accountant and the client, we can automate most of the job coding and cost coding up front. And so you can just send it off to your clients for approval. So anyways, those are the two main ways we're different. In terms of what I'm going to cover on this demo now, we cover the full end-to-end bookkeeping workflows. So on the cost side, we've got AP expenses, labor costing, as well as payments, lien waivers, stuff like that. Everything's designed around the budget. So we have both the cost side of the budget and the revenue side with change tracking. Again, this can pull in from the project management system. And then we have the money in workflows. So the draws, the invoices, we do cost plus invoicing, fixed price, and AIA style invoicing with retention. Okay, so let's get into the product real quick. All right, so I mentioned that we work with your client's existing systems. A great way to display that is to go to our jobs page. Right when you onboard to Adaptive, it's very quick. You just connect QuickBooks, connect the project management system, and we're going to pull in all the data, right? So budgets, costs, revenue, purchase orders, all that stuff historically. We'll pull in the chart of accounts, the products and services list, the customers, sub-customers, class, location, everything just gets pulled into Adaptive right away, and you're ready to go, okay? So now we got all this stuff in the system. How do we go ahead and get the job costing done very quickly? So we're going to have a client-specific email address that you can use for each of your clients, and you can toggle through your clients here. So you can have access to multiple clients through one login. Clients will simply forward bills in. As I mentioned, we will read job code and cost code. I can get into in an additional video, kind of all the different ways in the background. We're working with our engineering team to make that automated. It involves a lot of context across these projects that we get through integrations and other things. And yeah, those get forwarded in. Same thing with expenses and receipts, right? So you can give your clients a tool to collect receipts. They can either connect their email inbox or they can submit via a mobile app. And same thing, we'll get the job coding and cost coding. The way this works is clients can actually link their existing card program here, and then you would just assign each of the individual cards to a user that you have within the account. So they could connect their Amex directly to Adaptive, and you know who has and hasn't submitted receipts for their expenses. If you want, we also have Adaptive cards that come with built-in spend controls. So for example, you could set this to be limited to a specific merchant. So only Home Depot, for example, Home Depot, Lowe's, Sudoku, et cetera. You can set limits on how much money can be spent on the card, et cetera. And then you can set accounting automations around the cards. So you could make job-specific cards that are automatically coded to projects. So anyways, we have full expense management and spend management functionality. Naturally, you as the outsourced accounting firm, it's great to get the upfront job costing information done for you, but you're probably going to want to send these transactions, especially bills, to your clients for approval to say whether the work was done, et cetera. So we make that very easy as well. We have project-based approval workflows. So you can set it based on jobs. You can create multiple different workflows. You can create multiple people in a step, parallel approvers, et cetera. And again, everything's designed around construction. So you can set stuff based on cost code. You can even set the approval workflows based on the budget. So you can tell your clients, hey, we'll do all your upfront job costing info. If you're running over budget by $100 on a line item, then we will include you in the approval workflow and you'll be able to approve this. So let's look at what those approval workflows look like. Your clients would just be able to log in and see they're waiting for approval status. They can also do this from their phone. They just hop right into a transaction, take a look, right? They're going to see for each of the line items how much is left in the budget. So they can just go right through and see that information in one place. We'll also show things like, hey, is the vendor's compliance docs expired? Is there a duplicate, et cetera? If they're using purchase orders, you could have matched this to a PO, all that stuff, okay? So we have this structured approval workflow that gives your client all the information they would need to make the approval. And then we also have room for unstructured communication back and forth across all transactions across the system, right? So say you sent this to your client, they have a question about something, they can just tag you and reply in a comment and you would get an alert in your notification center. You could also use this to ask the client questions, or you could tag the vendor, for example. So, Gary's garage door, hey, you overbilled me, for example, my example right here. Go ahead and send that comment. And the vendor doesn't need a login. They'll just get an email with an image of the bill and they can reply directly here. So a key challenge in construction is the communication around the financials, and we make that very easy just through this unstructured back and forth here. All right. So that's the cost and approvals. So say you get the costs in. One other thing on costs, we also do incorporate timesheets into the product. So you can just pull labor hours in to the system, and then you can assign burden rates and all that stuff. So we have AP expenses and labor. So now that we got these approved costs, we go over to a job, right? Obviously, that would go ahead and update all the costs in the budget. You'd see everything across the budget. And then we would get into the AR side, right? So construction's a cash flow management business, right? How do I get my costs in quickly so that I can get my draw out, get paid myself, and then pay out my vendors? This is part of Adaptive that clients love. So you can do a cost plus invoice, a fixed price invoice, AI style invoice. So you can see if you were doing cost plus, you just add costs, right? You'd show all your open billable costs. You'd add those to the invoice. You can go ahead and add your markup, all that stuff, right? If you're doing AIA style invoicing or fixed price invoicing, you can do percent-based invoicing. We'll recognize retainage, all that stuff, okay? That would create a draw schedule that you can customize and modify as you like, that will have all the information your clients need, right? So upfront line item-based invoice, an actual schedule, job schedule, a summary of any changes on the project, and then images of the transactions if they need that for their invoice. All right. So what typically is a painful process across Excel, PDFs, et cetera, you can just create in a few clicks. Okay. Naturally, the final piece, once the client has collected on their invoice, is that they go and pay their vendors. You can also do that within Adaptive. So you can come in here and make bulk payments. You pay with ACH, for example. You could set it so that you only pay when lien waivers are signed. So we have full lien waiver functionality in the product. You can combine payments by vendor. You can set individual payments by vendor. And you can create default bank accounts that you want to pay out of, either across the company or by project, to streamline the payment process as well. So just to summarize what we covered here, how do you get your costs in really quickly? Use AI to do all the job costing. Update your budgets so you can quickly get your draw out, get your invoice out and get paid, and then ultimately make payments back out to your vendors. So anyways, that's what Adaptive does. We work with several accounting firms now, including CLA, including majority of the construction specific bookkeeping firms out there, and several other top firms. We are really, really closely aligned with accountants. We are building this product for accountants. And yeah, we're really excited to be working together. Feel free to reach out to me at any time with questions. My email is matt@adaptive.build, and looking forward to working together.